Digitalna tehnologija obećava bliskost, zabavu, pa čak i produljenje životnog vijeka. Mogućnost vršenja milijardi proračuna na džepnim uređajima dala nam je utisak da smo otkrili novu dimenziju u kojoj je sve u našem životu moguće dokazati, pratiti i pretvoriti u novac. Ali jesu li praktičnost, profit i nadzor jedine primjene ove nove tehnološke moći? Buntovnici modernog doba koriste svoje vještine kako bi se suprotstavili tehnološkim gigantima i otvorili vrata drugačijoj budućnosti u kojoj ljudi neće biti proizvod.
The problem with these trips is that sometimes I don't really adjust to the local time zone, but I adjust to some kind of random time zone which is halfway between where I was and where I am. Ciao.
Ciao.
Come stai?
Bene.
Eh? Lei parla italiano?
Lo so, ricordo io.
Sono qui per vedere il suo speech.
Ok.
Ok.
Dammi del tu.
Ok, tuo.
Okay.
I really want to introduce you guys as a very key person to the maker culture, and he and the other co-founders happen to create a very simple board that enables a lot more people to turn their passions into reality. Let's welcome Massima Banzija.
Thank you. So with a group of friends we started this project called Arduino, which is essentially the access to being able to build with electronics without really having to go through 5 years degree in electronics.
Hey, I'm going to show you how to build an electronic xylophone. Or basically, the first thing you're going to need is an Arduino microcontroller. You're going to need the Arduino code, which you can
Essentially, it's a computer inside one single chip. Doesn't have a screen, doesn't have a mouse, but it can build things with sensors. One of the early communities that jumped on board was musicians, building all sorts of musical interfaces for computer. Then there was a lot of interactive installations, robotics. People started to use Arduino to build the first open source drones. Then was the first open source 3D printer. People started to go and see, oh, look at this project is great, I like it. What did you use? Oh, I used Arduino. What is Arduino?
Hey guys, it's Will from Tustin.
And Norm from Tustin.
Norm, you have what looks like a whole bunch of little tiny boards. They're mostly Arduino microcontrollers. So what Arduino is a open source hardware that you can use to write software that interacts with the real world. One that you're holding in your hand is an Arduino Mega. It's the big one right now.
There are these little chips that are called microcontrollers. These are the typical computer you will find, for example, in a microwave oven or simple thermostat. So I started using them. We realized that a lot of software and hardware was available with an open source license. We wanted something that you could build yourself if you wanted to. And we need to make it cheap. It needs to cost like a pizza. So I started to develop what became Arduino. What happened is that at the same time that we started to become a little bit well known, the maker movement started to happen.
我想首先我代表深圳市委书记马云同志代表市委深圳。
This is the Maker Faire Shenzhen, and we are right in the middle. This is Makey, the robot, which is the kind of symbol of Maker Faire. Not even in California they have it so big. The Maker Faire is an event that was started about 10 years ago as a way to get the makers to get together and show what they were doing, showing projects. What are you working on?
And this is a liquid identifier module.
All right. Liquid identifier.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And if you put water in it, and milk, and coffee, and we can identify it.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That project is quite interesting. They could make that so small that you can put it in a regular glass, and you can use it for a lot of different. That's an interesting project.
So basically, we made a Bluetooth low energy board. So this one is like the kids can change the drawing on the fly, and you get reflected here.
All right, very nice, cool.
It's a bicycle POV. You can see different picture on it.
Take a picture from the phone and send it over to the Arduino, and then paints it on the LEDs.
Arduino is not only for engineers, for children, for grandma, for students. It's so cool.
Official Arduino boards is probably maybe a couple of millions out there. But the software that runs Arduino gets downloaded once every 4 seconds. What's happening right now is very simple. Technology is pervading every aspect of our life. At the moment, there is this perception that technology is something you buy what's on a shelf. But in a way, if you go to the supermarket and there would only be pre-cooked food and you wouldn't be able to buy some fresh produce to cook, then you would find that the world was not a free world. You would have, why do I have to get canned soup only? Well, in technology, in a way, now you go to a shop and there are, yes, 25 different types of tablets, but effectively they're all doing the same thing. So what if you decide that you want to do a different tablet, or you don't want to do the tablet, you want to do something else? Then you need to be able to sit down and think about it and maybe build a different one.
Okay, this mostly. What is this?
This is infrared sensor.
Infrared sensor.
This is just wires and in my undergraduate education, I learned like advertisement, and then I figured out that doing things with commercial is not that fun actually. I got hooked with the idea of maker when I had an internship in Berlin.
I was a normal architect. Right now the maker movement in China is quite interesting.
Okay, you're back.
Hello. I got these necklaces. Ooh. There will be a big party, and there's one requirement. You have to have an object on you that blinks. And this could be the pennant.
I like this one. I like it.
So it's really for a banana?
Yeah, it's really for bananas.
It's not for something else.
I started off as a kid. I was very interested in understanding how things worked. One Christmas, my parents gave me as a present this kit. It was a kit to learn about electronics. You could build a circuit. So if you're like 7, you would just take this thing, you just put together this cube, plug a 9-volt battery, you put the earphone in, and suddenly you hear voices. You're like, wow, I just built a radio. So that was very important for me because you understand that technology is not as complicated as you think it is.
We can use this definitely.
Super bright, nice color. Boom, boom.
So this is where you run your Arduino code. Let's say I want to build something that tells me when I got too much suntan. I'm at the seaside, I have to be careful, otherwise I bake. I could take a buzzer. There's a little component that goes beep, beep, beep. Then I take this other component, which is a light sensor. So the CPU constantly measures the amount of light. When the amount of light goes above a certain level, which means that you're under the sun, it starts to count the time. And then you put it in your software, well, every hour under the sun, I need to take some break. If over an hour you've been exposed to intense sunlight, this will start to beep. You can put this into a box, you put a battery in, you turn it on, and just, let technology take over.
This is a sound sensor with the computer.
So we said to people, you want to build a project, the first thing you do, open one of our examples. So you just have to copy it. oh my God, this thing is blinking. And if I change this number, this thing blinks in a different way. I don't know why, but it's happening to me right now.
See the number changes when I'm shouting, but I don't know why there's so many zeros.
So you start to create a connection between what you see on the screen, what's happening in the real world.
100 means it will show data
Picking up every
0.1
seconds. Yes.
Okay.
It's almost like you get these Lego blocks of knowledge that you snap together.
I think now it's working better.
Hardware, software, documentation, a teaching model, and a strong community together, Arduino.
Music!
We have to start from the point of view that in order to have a decent idea, you need to throw away 99. But the only way to have 100 ideas is to build stuff. That project that looks like a stupid project to you comes from another project that somebody built, and that became that. And from that, these two other people made that. So that particular silly product is actually step number 5 of 25. And at the end of the line, there may be a very relevant thing that comes out of that.
A hydrogen explosion has occurred at Unit 3 of Japan's stricken Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. And Japanese authorities have ordered people within a 12-mile radius of the plant to remain inside. More than 180,000 people have been evacuated from the area.
This used to be hotel, you can see, yeah? This used to be hotel. People, they used to live here, they cannot come back here anymore because of the Daiichi nuclear plant accident. It was really unclear about the information, how bad the radiation contamination was. We cannot see it, we cannot smell it, we cannot feel anything. I didn't think the government is hiding anything. I thought government just cannot control the situation very well because it was very chaotic. I just thought if I have this energy, I should put, something for others. I raised hand. That's how I start involved in Safecast. Outside is quite high right now, 4.37. Inside room, about 2 microsievert per hour. Yeah, it's very high. You don't see this number so frequently.
The box on the loader there and the receiver that's sitting here is one of our 3rd generation Geigis. It has a Geiger counter and a GPS receiver, and it logs every 5 seconds the location, time, and the radiation level. So everywhere I go, it's creating a data point every 5 seconds along this road, which we'll upload to our maps and be able to see the radiation levels around us. There was no question that we would use anything but Arduinos from the very first. When the government started to put out their information, and they basically said there was no problem in Fukushima, and there clearly was, so people didn't know what to believe.
And we have here an Arduino board that does all the counting from the Geiger counter and communicates with the PC to give through the radiation level. Okay. All right, we got it?
We were desperate to get the data on the maps. We had to act quickly. If we got 75% reliable data right away, that was way better than 100% reliable data 2 years too late. We got something working and drove to Fukushima.
The Big is weatherproof. We have strong rains outside. What are we measuring here right now?
Still stable 36 now, so it hasn't changed much.
36, so we're seeing very consistent error radiation numbers coming in.
Unless these makers were playing with Arduino and electronics for a certain amount of time, they wouldn't have been able to wake up one day and build a network of network-connected Geiger counters in the space of days. A community needed them, and they were ready.
You see what's behind me? I want to also stay off the road if I can, but not in the ditch. We call these radiation droids because it kind of looks like R2-D2, so from Star Wars. And these are the ones that started appearing about a year after the accident, all around Fukushima.
Is this Fuji?
No, this is a Japan brand.
This is the new one?
Mm-hmm.
Wow!
One of the problems is that the government doesn't say anything about them. We found them by just coming across them and say, oh, somebody's putting in sensors. There's no signs on them who owns them or who installed them or how they work or where you can find the data online. Aliens could have dropped this here.
1.036. Anyway, 1.0 microsievert. Probably compared to 4 years ago, the number has been decreased, but that's because half-life of cesium
134, 137, yes. The health effects of the stress of the incidents of Fukushima are having a very sizable impact on the people up there. You know, it doesn't matter if the fear you have is based on something real and rational or irrational, it's still a stress and people have a right to be told what's going on.
ゆきさん、セーフキャストのキキです。こんにちは。どうも。あ、今赤ちゃん寝てるんですか？ Looks like it. こんにちは。あ、はじめまして。
そこ持ってて、カメラだね。原発が、福島原発が危ないっていう情報をどこからか聞いて、でそれが家にあったガソリンを一つの車にまとめて、で避難したんですけれども、
ご主人の仕事で福島市に転勤ってなった時に、
お部屋も会社指定のところなので、とりあえず離れるっていう、まだ1ヶ月だったので本当に来たくなかったの、来たくなかったのが本音ですね。目で見てそれがダメなのかダメじゃないのかっていうのが分かればいいんですけれども、本当目に見えないものなので。
This, I would consider this number, the 0.15 to 0.18 to be the reading for this position.
でここの今私たちのセンサーで見てる数字 0.08 って今出てるんですけども、これは世界の平均値よりも低い平均数値なので、ほぼ世界中のほぼ多くの人はこのレベルよりもちょっと高いレベルで住んでいるか、この辺のレベルということで、
少しなんかちょっとホッとしたようなやっぱり気になってる人同士で話していると、これでも高い高い高いっていうふうになってそういう方々から安心というか、またそれも基準があるんでしょうけれども、大丈夫だよって言ってもらえるのはすごく心強いなって思いました。
I get an amazing feeling when I come across these kind of projects. This is something that nobody could have anticipated. When you make something like Arduino, you don't think, oh yeah, one day somebody will probably use it to crowdsource radiation data. But the fact that you've created tools that enable people to do that gives you hope on the fact that there will be other situations where we can build some technology which is independently created and will help us in other situations like this.
There's no safe level of radiation. The more radiation you get, the more risk you have of it causing some kind of disease. People in Koriyama or Nihonmatsu, those places, if the radiation were to stay stable for the rest of their life, would probably increase their lifetime rate of cancer by 0.5%. Doesn't sound like a lot. When 0.5% of 100,000 people get cancer, what's that, 500 people? So from an individual risk point of view, it might be manageable. From a society point of view, it's serious.
Okanoさん、こんにちは。今日はよろしくお願いいたします。
端がその大きさでいい。
あ、パーフェクト、ぴったり。
はい。
SafeCast is deploying a new network of sensors in locations. So we're going to put sensors that are, instead of being on a car, they're going to be on a building, and they'll measure 24 hours a day.
Some people says the radiation is gone already, and they don't want to talk about it anymore. They should learn more about the specific information. And using independent data is our data, not their data.
Not that one. No, it's still on. Try another one. Nope, it's not that one.
No.
That's it. It's on. I don't consider it sophisticated. You know, on the level of, you know, toaster to space shuttle, it's a lot closer to a toaster. And one sensor, you know, provides some data, but it's going to be the network, and then the string of data that comes from this one and other ones that's going to have us have a big picture. So, you know, it's one small piece of a very big network. The most recent reading is 20 CPM 7 minutes ago. We started from almost nothing to a barely workable system in a week. Within a month, we had something that was pretty good. Within 3 months, we had something that was world class. Within a year, we were the largest open data database on radiation information anywhere.
I guess the community now is large enough that some of the people, they realize there is now a lot of money to be made. So they're trying to kind of cash into this thing, but they don't understand that by doing this, they might make some money now, but then they would alienate the community, which is your blood, is your, you know, what keeps you alive. There were different moments that I could have given up, but I believe you can build a business, makes you more money than you will ever need in your life, and yet you create something which has a lasting value for many more people. I'm gonna fight the legal battle, but in the same time, I want to work with my friends who believe in what I do. I realized that I spent the last 10 years basically almost like putting money into a lot of bank accounts that are not made of money. They're made of reputation, they're made of respect, they're made of love. And now that this thing is happening to me, I'm basically going out and everybody's basically giving me back all the love I gave them with interest. I don't want to live in a world where everything around me is designed in California and made in China by somebody that just makes stuff. Because otherwise, they will drive the choices we make. They will drive the way we will be creative. The only way to be subversive in a way nowadays is to be able to control the technology in a way that you can propose an alternative.
I also like this spirit that because you're makers, but you're not afraid about making mistakes. No matter it's good or bad, it's progressing. That's how you keep going, keep going, keep going.
We never know when the next one happens. If that happens anywhere else in the world, all these people can help right away. We know how to do it.